Hi, today I'm going to show you a nice easy way to make a cotton crochet and beechwood ring. There may be other ways out there, but this is the way that I like. You may find that you like it, or you may find that you like a different method. So to do this, I'm going to use one of our 3-inch beechwood rings, which is nicely sanded to a really nice smooth finish. You can pick one of these up at riverstarsupply.com. I'm also going to be using a yarn that I selected. And for this, I've actually selected a nice organic cotton yarn in a beautiful kind of a mustardy yellow color. And then finally, I'm going to need a crochet hook. And the exact size of the crochet hook doesn't really matter, and it actually will depend a lot on your yarn. You just want to make sure that it's a good size to actually hook your yarn. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually lay this yarn over top of my fingers. I'm going to wrap it around one of my fingers to make a small circle, and I'll take the long tail end and I'm going to push it up through that center so that I can make basically a little loop like that. Again, I'm going to be wrapping that around my finger so that I have a circle. I'm going to take the long end and I'm going to push it up through the center to make myself a loop. From there, I'm going to actually place my crochet hook through that loop, and I'm going to pull both sides, which will tighten that. And I don't want it too tight. I want it just tight enough that it can still slide easily over top of my crochet hook, but of course it's not going to fall off. The next thing I'm going to do is position the yarn on my fingers so that I can keep a good control of the tightness of the yarn as it comes through. So in order to do that for me, I like to drape it over top of my pinky with my palm facing up, move it behind my other 3 fingers, and then wrap it several times around my pointer. I'm going to then pick up my 3-inch ring in my hand, and I'm going to push the crochet hook with the yarn up and through. So from the bottom up, I'm going to pull it through so that I've got the long tail on one side, and I've got the crochet hook with the short tail on the other side. Now I'm going to grab that short tail here, and I'm going to pin it down with my thumb to keep good control over it. I'm going to actually just do that again. There we go. Now from here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go with my hook, and I'm going to grab part of that long tail cord. I'm going to give my hook a little bit of a twist so that I'm hooking it and securing it, and then I'm going to simply pull it through that first loop that I have. So now I still have one loop on my crochet hook, but it is actually the second loop that I've made. Now the second one is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to take this crochet hook and I'm going to go down through my ring, and I'm going to pull it up, grab a piece of the long tail of my yarn, and then pull that long tail of my yarn up again through to the other side. So again, what I'm going to do, I'll just tighten this up so you can see it again, is I'm going to take that one hook that I have and my crochet hook, and I'm going to go down through my ring. I'm going to grab onto the long tail, and I'm going to pull it back up onto the other side of my ring. Then I'm going to do the same thing again, but on this side. I'm going to hook that long tail, I'm going to give it a twist, and this time I'm going to pull it through 2 loops, which means I'm still left with 1 loop here. Now if I loosen my fingers, you can see that I can make that loop bigger or smaller, and I want to keep the same kind of tension on that loop so that I have consistency throughout all of my stitches. So again, simple thing, we're going to push our hook down through the ring, hook onto that long tail, and bring it back up and around to the other side of that ring. Then I'm going to hook onto the long tail on that side and pull it through 1, 2. Again, crochet hook down through the ring, hook it onto that long tail, and bring that long tail back up. And then I'm going to hook onto the long tail a second time, and I'm going to bring that last one through 1, 2. One more time, that's taking my crochet hook down through the ring. I'm going to hook onto that yarn on the other side. I'm going to bring it back up through, hook onto the long tail a second time, and I'm going to bring it through once and twice. And we're going to just continue to repeat that. So I'm just going to keep going here for a little while until we have enough crochet on our ring. Now again, try and make sure that that tension is about the same, and every once in a while you're going to want to squish all of your stitches together so that you can kind of see how much further you have to go. So we'll just go for a little while here. And once you've got that short tail kind of in through a bunch of your loops, what you can do is you can actually pull your short tail out so that the next time you make that loop, the short tail will no longer be where your thumb is, and in fact it'll actually just be secured here, and we're going to snip that off at a later time. So I'm just going to loosen my yarn here, and I'm going to go ahead and make a few more stitches before I show you how to finish this off. It's just the same pattern repeating. I'm just doing it a little bit quicker now so we can get to the end here. So again, it's always down through the loop, hooking that long tail, bringing that long tail back up, hooking the long tail on the upper side of the ring, and then pulling it through both of the loops that you have on your crochet hook, so that you always end the stitch with a single loop on your crochet hook. Okay, and I'm going to stop here, and like I said, you're going to want to just move your stitches down to make sure that you've got it nice and tight. Now if you have pulled it off, you can actually just slide your crochet hook through there again. If you've pulled it off and accidentally, there's no hook here, you just have to simply pull it once more and you should be able to find that next loop. So no worries. So we'll just keep going for maybe just a little bit longer here. Now, the benefit of these 3-inch rings is that they're extremely smooth. They're really, really sanded well. So none of your yarn is going to really get caught on there in general. So I might want to go just a little bit further to get myself halfway there. So you'd be surprised how quick this actually goes once you get going. Let's see, just a few more stitches. Oh, we look like we're there. So the last stitch you're going to do, instead of going down and hooking once and then hooking up again, the last stitch, so this is our last stitch, simply all you have to do is that first stitch for the last time. So you're just going to hook the long tail on the same side rather than going through, pull it, and this time you're going to want to make a nice big loop. From there you're going to give it a little snip, pull it out, and you're good to go. Now, to finish this off so that it looks lovely on both ends, what you're going to do is you'll just move your stitches apart a little bit, and you're going to just snip the tail that's kind of poking out as flush as you possibly can. From there, you can just move your stitches a little bit, and it's hidden. Now this side here is just slightly trickier in that you're going to actually need to feed this up and through. Now you can do that a variety of different ways. You can use a straightened paper clip, or you can use a beading needle. And I'm just going to use a beading needle today because I happen to have one handy. So all we're going to do is thread that yarn through the beading needle. And you don't need too much. If you're a little bit nervous about this part, do just leave yourself an extra large loop at the end so you have more yarn to work with. Now you're simply going to take that needle. Any kind of needle will work as long as you're able to get the yarn through that little eyelet. And you just need to move this through some of your stitches and underneath. Now you can continue to do this all the way up. It isn't actually necessary though, so I'm going to just be okay with that. You're going to give it a nice big tug so that it's secured here. And again, you'll open that stitch, so you'll spread those stitches out. You'll give it a little snip. And then again, rearrange those. And there you have it. Your very own crochet, cotton, and beechwood ring, teether, or whatever other kind of craft that you might want to do with that.